As a start, could you just describe your journey to get to Navy? Where have you been in your career so far?
Absolutely. So I'm going into my 20th year coaching college football. Next season will be number 20. I started my coaching career where I played at Davidson College in North Carolina. I spent 3 years at Bucknell University in Central Pennsylvania, 4 years at the University of Rhode Island, 6 years at Harvard University, and then most recently the last 4 years at Wake Forest.
What attracted you to come to Navy?
So one of the offensive line coaches and I, Ashley Ingram, worked together at Bucknell University. I think it was the 06, 07 seasons. And then he left and came here. He's been here ever since. I've always stayed in close contact with him throughout the years. And he's always, since the day he's gotten here, just raved about Coach Niemann, just this program, this area, just this job overall in this profession, how great of an atmosphere it was. So having the opportunity to come here has really been a blessing for me and my family. And it's as advertised. Coach Niemann's amazing. This staff is incredible. You just look at the dynamic of the staff, and again, I've only been here 2 months and change. But even just talking to recruits over the last couple of months when they visited, you just look at the dynamic of this staff, how many guys have been here 20 plus years, 10 plus years. I mean, that's unheard of in this profession. And, you just see the environment that's been created here and why guys don't leave because this place is truly amazing.
You've touched on this a little, but in your 2 months here so far, what's impressed you the most about the academy and the midshipmen?
I think in any high academic environment, and I've been very fortunate throughout my career, most every stop that I've been at has been, a high academic environment, but you're just the caliber of people that you're working with, the caliber of the student athlete. And I would say this about Navy, and again, I've been at Harvard, I've been at Wake Forest, so you're surrounded by, guys that are driven, highly motivated, want to be successful at anything they do in life, whether it's on the field or off. But this environment and these players, it's really just blown me away. They're incredible. And, I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Rayuan Lane, he kind of got on the job training last year. He was thrust in as a direct entry plebe, was thrust into the mix due to injury, had his very bright moments, but then also have made mistakes as a young kid would. What's been the biggest thing you've tried to work with him to kind of fine tune his ability to play safety? Because we all know he's talented, but he's still learning the position.
There's no question. He is a super special talent. And I think, anytime, you come from high school as talented as he was, he probably got away with, playing with a lot of bad technique, high pad level, not great eye discipline, which is obviously extremely important at the safety position. He was training a lot of bad habits in high school, and even looking at the film from last year, I know I didn't coach him last year, but just looking at the film, like you said, he got on the job training last year. He was on the scout team the first several weeks of the season, and then due to some injuries was elevated because he was talented enough to do it and had the ability to go out there and perform and make some plays. But the biggest thing has just been just refining him overall, working on his pad level and footwork every single day, working on his eye discipline, and just, slowing him down altogether and just making sure that he processes things the right way and sees and reacts to his keys and the things that he should be looking at any given play. And he's shown a lot of progress this spring. And again, talent-wise, there's no question he's really, really special. If we can just continue to work with him to put it all together, I think he's really he's a guy that obviously we have high expectations for, and I'd be disappointed if he didn't have a breakout season.
What's going on behind him at free safety? The pre-spring depth chart had Josh Adams the backup and Colin O'Connor number 3. O'Connor's been moved to striker, if I'm correct.
Correct.
So what's happening behind him? Who is like showing that they could be the guy to either challenge Rayan or at least be a credible backup?
Right now, behind him, it's been Randy Franklin. He'll be entering his sophomore year, and talent-wise, he can certainly do it. He's and last year he was on the scout team all year, and so this is really his first spring going through it, being coached in our defense, and it's a challenge because we're very, very multiple. We do a lot of different things. There's a lot of different techniques that these guys have to understand and master, and we've put a lot of defense in these first couple of weeks of spring. So it's been, he's had some good days and bad, which is fine. But talent-wise, he can certainly fit the bill, and he can do the job description. He's a roughly 6 foot, 200-pound kid that moves really, really well. He just needs to see and process, the game a little bit faster, and that will come with reps. It'll come with time. Like you said, for him, it's the same kind of deal. It's, this spring's been on the job training for him, and, not in a game situation, not when bullets are really flying, but, every rep for him and every call that goes in, it's all brand new. So he's got a lot to process, and, he's been doing a good job working his way through it, but he's still got a long way to go.
So I'm guessing Coach Newberry must have felt comfortable with the depth at that position if he moved O'Connor to striker, because O'Connor played a little bit last year and had some experience. Behind the Franklin and Rayan, anyone else you feel good about at free safety?
I think so. We've been repping Marcus Tiki Moore at Bandit, the Bandit safety, but I think talent-wise, he could move from the boundary and go out to the field. And probably if we had a game today, he would probably be the third guy in the game. So, it'd be, Ray at free safety, Avon Gibbons at our boundary safety. And then, Tiki would probably be the third guy in, just because he has the best overall understanding of the scheme, package, techniques, that sort of thing. So he's shown a little bit more consistency than Randy up until this point. But I think he kind of gives us the flexibility to play on either side.
So you mentioned Gibbons. What can you say about his development? He's another guy that was thrust into the fire last year. He's a plebe. He was on the scout team. So last year was his first varsity action, and he was also learning on the job. What are you seeing out of him?
Yeah, I mean, right. If you look at the kind of the depth of the room, that's where we're at right now. Those the 2 starting safeties last year got injured, so you're really bringing back guys that have, that were kind of just role players last year until they got really thrust into the mix. And Avon's a perfect example. But he's a guy that, to me, I mean, he's a machine. He's the leader of the room this spring. Anything that you ask of him to do or anything that you correct, I mean, it gets fixed, and it gets fixed right away. And he just, he's shown great instincts, and he works so hard to put himself in the position that he's in. My family's still not up here in Maryland yet, so I've been spending a lot of late nights in the office, just hanging out, because rather than going back to the hotel. And he's kind of the one kid I see up here every single night religiously. I mean, he'll be up here and spend an extra hour in the film room on his own studying, and he's working really, really hard at it. He wants to be great.
And then Taylor Robinson behind him at Bandit.
That's the thing. So we got two seniors in the room right now, Taylor and Derek Atwaters, and then both those guys have been out all spring with injuries. So obviously, I think looking toward the season with both of those guys healthy, you feel much better about the overall depth in the room because both of those guys have played in games. They do have game experience, but I haven't had a chance to coach those guys one single snap this spring. So, I think Derek's in a position where we expect him back within the next week or two. And then Taylor, I'm not so sure. So we'll see how it plays out, as we finish spring and get into the summer. But obviously having both of those guys back in the mix in fall camp would be, a huge shot in the arm in terms of overall depth of the room.
What traits do you look for in a safety?
Great safeties kind of come in all shapes and sizes. There's no, real size or measurable that specifically you're looking for. Obviously, you'd love them to be, 6 foot plus, somewhere around 200 pounds. But there's been some really good safeties that are, not in that mold, but they need to be rangy. They need to be able to cover ground. They obviously have to be, physical. They have to have great savvy and awareness, and just they have to be able to make a lot of checks, calls, and communication. They got to be able to see the game, process it really, really fast. And at the end of the day, they got to be magic erasers. They got to, when the ball breaks out, they have to be able to track it and get it on the ground, wherever it is. And obviously they play in a lot of field space, so that's not an easy job description, especially tackling some of the athletes that will be matched up against in this league. So that they've got to be they got to have a wide array of skills that they have to be good at and master.
And having a defensive coordinator with a background in coaching safeties and Coach Newberry, how beneficial as a coach is that for you?
It's been awesome. I mean, Coach Newberry's obviously, to me, he's a brilliant defensive mind. He's got a lot of experience when it comes to secondary play, just like myself. So I think it's been great working with him, at least for me, to be able to bounce ideas off of each other, techniques off of each other. It's been really nice. I think we see a lot of things the same way in terms of the way you develop and coach these guys, whether it's an individual technique or whether it's something related to scheme. But it's been great, having him kind of oversee this whole package in the defense, just his experience level and knowledge of the game. It's been really beneficial to me.
During this spring camp, have you gotten acclimated to the coaching style that Coach Niumatalolo likes to implement, and then what have you kind of felt comfortable with how Navy operates within as an organization?
I have. It certainly took some getting used to. I mean, anytime you're a defensive coach for a program like this that operates with an option offense, there's some different challenges, and that it's always going to be, things are always going to work and operate a little bit different. But just the energy level of these practices, the physicality of these practices. We haven't had a lot of live opportunities this spring, but that does not slow these guys down, one bit. The phrase we use around here is elite eat, effort, attitude, and toughness. And you can just tell that kind of mindset and mantra has been ingrained in this entire staff, this whole football program. These guys love to compete, and they really, they really try and get after each other every single day. And it's been fun to be a part of. It's been fun to watch.
And you working well with Coach RB Green, because obviously you guys are controlling all the defensive backs, so you got to work together.
Yeah, again, I think just again with Coach Newberry overseeing it all with a lot of defensive back play experience, and RB's been around here a long time, so he's obviously very comfortable with what we're doing here schematically. I think the relationship between all three of us has been great this spring, and I really look forward to continuing to work with these guys, and as we get to fall camp and the season, and really try and put a great product out on the field.
First off, spring football is winding down a little. Just our initial thoughts on how it's been going.
Well, so far, spring football, it's been moving pretty good. I mean, every day we've been out there, I feel like we've definitely brought the energy. We've definitely been focusing on our keys and stuff like that. And just moving as if we have business to take care of every time we got out there. So it's definitely been moving good. I'm definitely glad about the way spring ball has been progressing.
Being a rising sophomore and having those opportunities as a freshman to take the field, what type of confidence has this given you in spring ball?
Definitely a lot more confidence, because you can just see how things pretty much flow together. And then you're also able to just know things a little bit more, and able to take other people under your wing and try to show them how different things work, how different plays play out, and pretty much the bigger picture of what we're trying to get done. And so it's been pretty good.
And lastly, for me right now, Coach Crawford, what's it like having a new coach? How's he been?
Coach Crawford is great. We got a new coach, so now it's someone that can just settle on and see the fine little things that we're trying to focus on as a safeties group. He knows all of his stuff, so any questions we ask, he's definitely there to answer them. And then different things with Indy and stuff like that, he just knows the in and outs of everything. So it's definitely great to have Coach Crawford with us.
Thank you.
Wags.
Ray, what were some of the things you wanted to work on this spring to improve your game?
That's a big question. Well, pretty much everything. I mean, when you go into, I guess, things on the field, keeping your pads low, focusing on your keys, I guess, knowing the bigger idea of what we're trying to do. And we want to work on that, as well as just leadership and bringing intensity and energy to every practice, and as well as just improving your overall IQ for the game. So pretty much coming in the spring, I guess, just all around, just everything.
So, I mean, obviously, Coach Newberry had said that, you were learning on the job and you're very talented and whatnot, but there was times when you made mistakes. And if I remember correctly, the Notre Dame game was one where he felt like you had some regression. I'm sure you watched the film of that. What happened in that Notre Dame game that was a learning experience for you? What did you do wrong that Coach Newberry was able to say, hey, you're playing too fast. You apparently, I think he indicated that you made some plays where you could have gotten Navy beat badly.
Yeah, I think one of the problems that definitely occurred in the Notre Dame game was my eyes, and just understanding what we were trying to do as a defense. Sometimes, I guess, being as young as I was, just my eyes would get distracted from what my key was, and I would try to do other people's jobs where I just need to focus and understand what my job was. So really that, and then just the elite eat part of it, hustling everything, getting to every play, just capping off what I can, and just things like that were definitely things that occurred last year in that Notre Dame game.
So I would imagine, though, that the playing experience you got was just invaluable. I mean, every time, every rep was a learning experience in every game, and you're able to go back and look at film and see where you could have corrected things. Are you really looking forward to kind of implementing all of what you've learned next season?
Oh yeah, even now, just seeing, being able to watch film from last year and just being able to go out and attack it and during spring ball, and able to get that feedback back and continue to just watch film as spring ball progresses is just exciting, getting to go out every day, get better and better. And then obviously the big picture comes in the fall when we get to playing those games, and it gets even more exciting then. So definitely.
And I see Kevin Brennan out of practice. I mean, it must be nice to have a veteran guy like that in your ear, able to tell you where, what you're doing wrong, what you can do better. maybe some little tricks of the trade that he learned during his time as a free safety at Navy. What's your relationship with Kevin, and is he still helping you out even because he's still around?
Oh yeah, Kevin, he's always out there. All of our practices. He doesn't sit in as much as meetings anymore, but you know, that still doesn't distract the fact like he knows what's going on out there. He knows the in and outs, and just having a person to like go talk to, well, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? I definitely think it helps out, and it's just great to, like you said, have a veteran out there that understands what our program is and also like how we play football. So that's great.
Well, and apparently Scott's saying you're going to have him around next fall too.
Yes, sir.
He'll be your little personal tutor. So I know it's weird to be a freshman and say you're kind of the veteran guy in the room, but as far as playing time is concerned, you are. What are you doing? And I know, again, this sounds strange for a player as young as you, but what are you doing to help some of the other guys who don't have as much experience as you do?
You know, well, we all help each other out. I mean, obviously, some of us, we have more experience with others, but, you know, we're all in there. We're all watching film all the time. Like at practice, we're always helping each other out. Like no one's ever tuned out when we're at practice. We're all tuned in. Everyone helps each other when it comes to our different position groups. If there's questions that need to be asked or answered, we're always there to do that for each other. And just continue to work with each other, watch film, and just have conversations to see where everyone's at. It's pretty much what we're all doing to help each other out.
And so what can you say about some of the other safeties? Coach mentioned Strauss. Who was it he said was the backup? I hadn't heard the guy's name before.
Yeah, Marcus Moore. He played a little bit last year.
Well, no, he mentioned another kid.
We said Marcus was the number. Oh, Randy Franklin.
Randy Franklin, right. So how are Randy and Marcus looking to you, Ray?
Oh yeah, they're definitely progressing. You know, Randy, he was coming off a little bit of an injury last year, so now he's getting his feet wet in the water. He's getting out there, but definitely I like both of them. They both come to work, you know, all through off season, like fourth quarters, all the workouts, everything, even on the field. Like you can tell, like them and pretty much everyone, we're here to get better. Everyone out there means business, and everyone's like coming along, watching film, just different things like that. So it's definitely bright for our group of safeties.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go back to Phil Bergman.
Yeah, Rayan, this rising sophomore class, a lot of playing time already out of this group. What's so special about this grade?
I just think we're all hungry. I mean, we all came here with goals and aspirations, and I think we're pretty much trying to do everything we can to try to push that agenda and try to just get on track of where we want to be and definitely like improve this football program and just stay true to ourselves and keep working as hard as we can just to have the most positive effect on the program that we can possibly have.
And then lastly, for me, is there a current NFL safety you like to watch and try to emulate your style off of?
Current NFL safety. Let's see. Well, I guess I can go back. I always love watching Tyrann Mathieu. Just seeing his grit, the amount of energy he plays with. You know, he'll come down, he'll hit you. He won't even think about it, and he can also like defend the pass and stuff like that. So that's definitely someone I always look to. I always watch his highlights and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Former safeties, you got to be Ed Reed, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Wags.
Are you a Ravens guy, Ray?
Oh yeah, I love the Ravens.
You've been to many games over the years?
No, that's something I struggle with getting the games. But I definitely become a Ravens fan over the time that I've been in Maryland. So yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, your residency is Jessup. Part of Jessup is in Anne Arundel County and parts in Howard County. Where are you?
Mm-hmm. So I live in the Howard County part of Jessup.
Okay, gotcha. So where would you have gone to? Howard High?
No, I would have went to, well, I moved, I always lived in Howard County. But where I first lived, I would have went to Howard, but then when I moved, I would have went to Hammond High School.
Okay, gotcha.
That's where I currently live now. So yeah.
So how are you liking the new coach, Coach Crawford?
He's great. He's great. I mean, getting to know somebody is definitely different than Coach New, but you know, we've been getting along pretty well. We got our own little group chat and stuff. We crack little jokes in there and stuff like that. And just out on the field, It's just great getting to know him, getting him involved with our group. It's definitely good to have somebody there that's able to like just understand and kind of like micromanage our group of safeties and stuff like that. It's great.
He was mentioning to us that he stays in the office late because his family's not here and he's living in a hotel and he's not all that anxious to go back to a lonely hotel room. But he says a lot of times when he's there at the office late, he sees even Gibbons working late. Is that a good example for the whole group, the way Gibbons works?
Oh yeah. Gibby, yeah, he sets the tone all the times in pretty much every aspect, you know. That's why a lot of the guys we try to get with him and just really with each other just to make sure that we all stay on track. And really that's really never a problem, but just making sure like the standards are met and exceeded within our group is definitely something that we try to do.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ray. I appreciate you, babe.
Yes, sir.
I've got one, being a big Ravens fan, but not having been to a game. How excited are you about playing Notre Dame there this year?
I don't even think words can describe how excited I am about that. It's definitely huge. I'm definitely gonna use as many tickets as possible. So I'm definitely excited.